What's up, guys? Dominic Abassi here for the British Columbia Football Conference. And honestly, I have to ask myself, how is it only week number 4? It feels like we've had about 20 weeks worth of drama and incredible football, on-field, off-field antics, all kinds of crazy stuff happening. And we're only 3 weeks into this season. It's really quite incredible. You've got the Raiders last week. What a week it was. Just wild, wild stuff. The Raiders erasing a 27-point deficit in the final 10 minutes against the Rams to spoil Coach Snoop's return to Caledonia Park. And then, of course, you've got the Valley Huskers beating the Okanagan Sun, a game that they led from start to finish. For the first time in 33 tries, the Huskers over the Sun. I have to say, I owe Bob Reist and the Huskers an apology. In my week 3 preview, sort of discounted those games, said, look, I don't really see a lot there that would lead to an upset. That was my bad. I was dead wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. I've been the first person to cheerlead for the Huskers program and say, amazing things are happening there. They're on the up and up. Anybody who was close to the game in the league knew that last year. But if I would have said to you that the Huskers by week 4 will have beaten the Raiders and the Sun and be tied for first place, I would have been lying through my teeth. But I know that Bob Reist honestly did believe that his team could achieve something like that. So really kudos to him, and my apologies for not fully believing in the rebuild that they've got going on there in Valley. Then we've got some of the drama and the name calling and the antics and really some silliness over a game that actually didn't even get played last week. So really just an incredible week filled with drama and headlines all around the BCFC. Now we move ahead to week number 4, and you've got, for me, 2 games of the week. It's hard for me to pick which one of these is more intriguing than the other. We'll start with Langley, the Rams, hosting the Okanagan Sun. At 1-2 for the Rams, I think it would be easy for them to maybe be panicking a little bit, especially considering how things went last season. They got behind the 8 ball and never really could catch up. But I spoke with Coach Snoop this week. He made a great point to me, and this is why he's such a successful coach. He's able to see these storylines and pick them out. He said that they don't feel too bad about the losses to West Shore and the Raiders because of the point differential. They lost to West Shore by 3, to the Raiders by 1. All the Rams have to do is beat those 2 teams in their next head-to-head meetings by more than what they lost, and they win the season series. So if you look at it that way, not really a lot of reason to panic. However, they need to start winning some football games, and they love to beat the Okanagan Sun to sort of show the skill and talent they have. I saw the Rams in person last week. They are stout up front defensively, very talented and athletic in their defensive backfield. I would say they maybe don't have a feature back, a guy to really carry the load offensively out of the backfield. But Duncan Little at quarterback, the league's leading passer right now, looks very poised, very composed, has a very electric arm as well. Doesn't look like a kid who's in his first season as a starter at the junior football level. And the Rams, of course, have themselves a receiver or 2 that can take over a game as well. For the Sun, there's not really a lot to say other than this team has something to prove. They really must bounce back off of a disappointing loss to the Valley Huskers when they come to Langley this weekend. I would expect them to be very, very motivated for that. The other big tilt of the week goes Saturday night in West Shore. Rebels, Raiders. How much window dressing do I really need to put on this one for you? You've got 2 teams right in the mix. The Raiders are riding high, a rematch of last season's Cullen Cup game as well. And the Rebels are coming off a de facto bye week because their game was canceled, supposed to be up in Kamloops last weekend. They won't have their head coach on the sidelines. Charlie Kartalicki was suspended for a profanity-laden tirade, really, that he made to a Kamloops newspaper about the BCFC executive and the way they handled that game cancellation. So a 3-game suspension for Charlie. I'm very interested to see how this will impact his team on the field. If anything, I think it might be a positive this week because it'll be that sort of, win it for Charlie sort of attitude from his team is kind of what I expect, a group to really be motivated and want to stick it to the league, as I know that Charlie really fosters that us against the world sort of attitude down there in West Shore. This is going to be a great game. Always so fun when the Raiders travel to West Hills Stadium because their fans come with them. The Rebels fans show up in big numbers, and it is always an intense night down there. Both of those heavyweight bouts, 7 o'clock starts on Saturday night. The other game of the week has had to switch venues. Kamloops will now visit Chilliwack instead of the other way around. Air quality is just too poor up there in Kamloops right now. Very unfortunate situation, but the league getting out in front of this one and rescheduling the location of this game. A Huskers winning streak. A winning streak for the Valley Huskers. I think that's what we're going to see coming out of this weekend's game. Now, I wanted to address some of the issues with BCFC TV in Nanaimo last weekend. I know a lot of fans were very disappointed. I was very disappointed. It was not my fault. I will take blame when I deserve it, but I don't hear the production crew didn't come through the way that I know that the people who hired him had hoped. There is a new production crew coming in for the remainder of the season in Nanaimo, so that should put any of those issues to bed. Other than that, make sure you're checking out BCFC TV every single weekend for this incredible drama and action. And that Raiders-Rams game, by the way, is up on YouTube now, so you can go and watch it there. I would recommend the last 15 minutes, unless, of course, you're a Rams fan. You might want to skip that. The bye week lies ahead, so get out to the park, check out some of this incredible action this weekend. It's, I would assume, based on what we've seen, going to be just another incredible drama-filled weekend of action around the BCFC. I'm Dominic Abassi, reporting for the British Columbia Football Conference.